Guys, what's up and welcome back to this YouTube channel. It's your guy Igor here. Today's video is dedicated to, well, buying real estate here in Canada. Top 5 cities, major cities in Canada. What money would you be making there if you're living there, and what kind of house can you afford? Now, of course, these cities are going to be Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, Calgary, and Ottawa. These are the top 5 cities, most popular cities, most populated ones, and they have a variety of incomes. So we'll look at average income per family. We will look what kind of mortgage you can get with that kind of income, and what kind of house you can afford, or where you can afford in one of those cities, if you can afford at all with that kind of income, or how far away it would be from the major city if you actually want to buy it. And we'll be talking about houses. So it's not going to be duplexes, it's not going to be fourplexes, it's not going to be any of those attached condominiums or apartments. We are talking about land, your own land and your own single family detached house, because isn't it a Canadian dream, and that isn't it what everyone wants when they're coming to this country? So that's what we are going to be looking at. Now, I want to remind everyone, guys, I'm not a mortgage broker. I am a realtor, a real estate agent with eXp Realty here in Calgary. So my contacts will be in the description of this video if you're ever interested to chat with me when you're in Calgary. Anyways, let's talk about real estate in Toronto. Toronto, guys, it actually has 5.928 million people population. That's like the biggest city here in Canada, and an average family income of $83,020. Now, if you're looking in terms of mortgage, I actually have everything recorded on my phone here. You are probably going to be pre-approved with a 20% down. Let's assume you have 20% down. Majority of us don't have. But with the 20% down, which is $104,000 and $824, you would be eligible to get at around $524,119 mortgage. So $524,000, let's round it up. What can you afford, guys, in Toronto with this kind of mortgage? Now, if you're from Toronto, you're probably yelling right now saying nothing. Well, you are absolutely right, actually. You can afford a condo, but we're not talking about that stuff here in this video. But you can afford a house, and I looked at Zillow, for example, at $515,000, which is located in Hamilton, guys. Hamilton, which is not too far away. You can get a house for $499,000 as well, but it's going to be about 1 hour and 7, maybe 10 minutes driving one way. So if you are there and you are an average person who is making, for family, so husband and wife working together, $83,000 per annum per year, you are eligible to get that kind of mortgage. And you can get a property for $515,000 or let's say $499,000 in Hamilton, which is going to be about 1 hour and 10 minutes driving to your workplace and from your workplace if you are working in downtown Toronto. So it's insane. It is crazy. And I don't blame people in Toronto who are fed up and they're moving out of there, because either you rent and you don't own anything with this kind of income, or you have to travel that kind of distances. Now, people who live there, they're used to that kind of distances. For me, being from Calgary, it's a little bit wild. But this is the reality. You have to make a lot of money in order to be able to afford living in that city. The second city on this list is actually Montreal, with 4.099 million people living there. Now, an average per family income is just 1,000 below than in Toronto, so it's 82,000 Canadian dollars. With 82,000 Canadian dollars, you can get $517,675 mortgage with 20% down, which is going to be just over $103,000, and in terms of 30 years, you could actually get a decent property there. Well, it is a small property, but you could actually afford something. For example, you could buy this property for $515,000. which is actually really close to it's actually in Montreal itself. So you could actually afford something for $515,000 or $499.99, basically $500,000, which is, it's not a big property, but at least you can afford something in Montreal with this kind of prices. So if you are, guys, if you are thinking moving to Toronto or moving to Montreal, I would definitely, guys, recommend moving to, well, Montreal, I guess, if you know French, of course, and if you are into that kind of culture. But in terms of affordability of houses, this would be definitely a winner. Next on the list would be Vancouver, guys, and Vancouver has 2.463 million people population, and I'm talking Metro Vancouver area. I'm not talking just to Vancouver itself because it's like a smaller city. Even Calgary, where I'm from, is bigger, but you have to take into consideration the Vancouver area, and that is 2.463 million people. It's a big place with an average per family income is actually higher than in Montreal and higher than Toronto. It's 86,140 Canadian dollars. Now, what can you afford with? In Vancouver, you can afford a mortgage pre-approval with that kind of family income of $543,816. So with 20% down, which is just over $108,000 of down payment, that's the amount of money you would get. Now, here is the fun part. In Vancouver, it's even worse than in Ontario right now in terms of real estate, I would say. Because literally, you can afford nothing there. You can afford a boat house. You would live on a boat. I don't know how that is, and if it's even considered to be like proper real estate, because you don't really own the land. But yeah, you are basically stuck in Nanaimo. And Nanaimo, guys, you can also get like a tiny house for $509,000, 900. And it is going to be 2 hours, 34 minutes of, you would think, driving, but you actually end up on a boat going to Vancouver. So you would literally have to load your car on a boat and go for 2.5 hours. Isn't it crazy, guys? So it's not a really good option if you're working in Vancouver downtown and you have to travel there for work. It's going to be way too far away. Or you could actually get a place, you know, closer to the Vancouver area itself, but still it's going to be a huge travel. So in terms of Vancouver, I have to disappoint you guys. You might buy something in Nanaimo, you might buy something in Kelowna, but you are not going to buy something in the Vancouver itself. It's going to be too far away for you to travel. So with average Canadian income for that area, unfortunately, you cannot afford a place to stay unless you have a lot of money. Next city is my favorite city, and it is Calgary. That's where I'm from, guys, and I'm a real estate agent here in Calgary. My contacts will be in the description of this video. Now, how much money do you think people make in Calgary? Just make a guess. I bet you're thinking probably Toronto people making more, or Vancouver, right? But you're wrong. Actually, average family income in Calgary is $102,000, and well, it's $102,060. Now, the population of Calgary is 1.39 million people, which is a huge place actually. Maybe not as big as some other cities in more populated countries, but for Canada, it's pretty big population over here. It's number 4 city on the list, but if you look at Wikipedia, it would be number 3 because Vancouver is considered to be smaller than Calgary. It would be Toronto, Montreal, Calgary, and then Vancouver. But if we take into consideration the area, Calgary comes to number 4. Now, what can you afford with that kind of income here in Calgary? Well, with this income, in Calgary, you can afford a mortgage of $644,315. So you can afford pretty big mortgage here in Calgary with an average income. And how many houses do you think you can afford within that price range? Yeah, it's just over 2,108 houses here in Calgary for sale right now. And I'm talking about single family, detached houses with its land. And you can literally see these red dots all over the place, which means is that you can afford a house in downtown, a little bit further, a little bit north, a little bit south, a little bit west, a little bit east, any part of Calgary within this price range, you can buy something. Now, of course, downtown area, where right in the middle of downtown, you're going to get an older house. But if you're willing to compromise and move 10 minutes away from downtown, or 15 minutes away from downtown, you can get a very luxurious, spacious house, and there are options. So what it shows, according to this research and my own, guys, is that actually with an average income in Calgary, you can still afford a ton of houses with an average family income. So there is still options even for those people who do not make an average income, for people who do not have enough money. And there is even more options for those people who are making more than an average Calgarian who is living here. So Calgary is basically no match in terms of the previous cities. And I'm talking about Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal. Now let's talk about Ottawa, because it's number 5 on my list right now, before I tell you anything more. Now, Ottawa, guys, it actually has 994,837 people, so just below a million, close to a million people, with an average income of $105,050. So the income in Ottawa is higher than in Calgary. That's probably because all the government is there. But hear me out. With that kind of income, you would be pre-approved for a mortgage on 30 years, $130,000 down payment, which is 20%, you'd be able to get $663,191 mortgage. Now, you can afford real estate in Ottawa, but it is going to be old houses in 650 range, or you could get something in 540 range even, but it's going to be a little bit of a drive. So there is way less options on what you can afford within that kind of income, but still you can at least afford something, and you are going to be making more money than in other cities here in Canada. However, there is about 38 listings right now within that price range in Ottawa itself, or you have to go further away from the place to afford something more. And no other city from these 5 cities, the top cities that we looked at, is where you can actually, I'm talking about the most popular cities that comes even close to Calgary, and that's why I'm such a big advocate of this city. Now, guys, of course, you might say, Igor, you're a real estate agent. Guys, I have not been a real estate agent when I started this YouTube channel. I became real estate agent later, years after I started this YouTube channel. Later on, I got my license after I joined the brokerage, and I tell you guys, it's crazy. The stories I hear from people coming from Vancouver, why they're coming to Calgary. The stories where I'm hearing people from Ontario who are thinking of coming, but they're unsure because it's quite far away from there to come here, right? So it's crazy things that I hear from people, how far they travel and what are the prices over there. Right now, people in Toronto are paying $140,000 over the asking price. And that is a price of a condo here in Calgary. If you want to buy a condo at this moment, you can find something below 150. You can find something at $110,000, $130,000 an apartment. And in Toronto, same kind of stuff would be $450,000, $500,000, $600,000. So all I'm saying, guys, is if you are, I hope this video is useful for you, but if you're, oh, my cat just scared me. Kali, come here, come here, come here. By the way, that's my cat, just came out of bush and scared me. I was thinking some predator is coming out, but it's my Kelly cat. Guys, so, you're not going to let me go? Okay, then you're going to have to stay in this video. Alright guys, so I hope you find this video pretty interesting and informative. Now, you know, one thing is going to most popular cities, the other part about it is actually living a life, being able to afford your own place. And right now, fingers crossed for now, Calgary is an affordable place because it's very underrated, unpopulated, unpopular city for some reason, because probably people don't know about it. But now that you watched this video, let's see what happened next, guys. Anyways, I'll leave my contacts in the description of this video if you want to chat about, you know, real estate here in Calgary, and if you want me to help you find something decent. And if you have any questions, suggestions, or anything about anything, about real estate or even Canada immigration stuff. Looking forward to read your comments, guys, and share this video with your friends. If they're planning to come to Canada, share it with them. I hope it's going to be very useful for you guys when you're making your final decision on where you want to settle. Now you know your options, and you know the cities, and you know what to expect. See you soon, guys. Wish you all the best.